Debate. I call first Jim Fairlie to be followed by Paul Sweeney for around 4 minutes. Mr Fairlie.
Thank you, Presiding Officer. Presiding Officer, when is an international treaty not an international treaty? Ordinarily, there should be a punchline inserted at this point, but unfortunately the joke is on us in so many ways it is both embarrassing and dangerous. And I attended the Quality Meat Scotland breakfast meeting last week at the Royal Highland Show, where the First Minister gave a very well-received address to the farming and red meat industry attendees. However, what I found incredibly interesting that morning was the presentation from Professor John Gilliland. He is a former president of the Ulster Farmers Union and chair of DEFRA's Rural Climate Change Forum. His talk was interesting for several reasons, but one thing that really struck me was that almost in his first sentence, he congratulated us here in Scotland for having a viable working First Minister who was able to work on the behalf of the people of Scotland, because coming from his part of the world, that was clearly something that they would love to have. The Northern Ireland Protocol was supposed to be the tool that allowed them to have that functioning parliament that the majority in Northern Ireland voted for. And yet here we are debating the fact that once again throwaway lines and promises from Boris Johnson have proven to be nothing more than his usual speak first, think never routine. It didn't matter so much when he was editor of The Spectator, but it absolutely does matter now when he is the Prime Minister. And now he is destabilising an entire country and threatening a trade war with the EU. It appears that there is so little respect from the Tories for international treaties, whether they were signed in 1706 or 2020, that they think it's okay to just ignore or break them and carry on regardless of the consequences. In the words of Maros Sefcovic, the UK Government has tabled legislation confirming its intention to unilaterally break international law. And whilst it is bad for the people of Northern Ireland, leaving them without a functioning executive, it is also extremely damaging to us here in Scotland. It causes serious potential for a trade war with the EU during a Tory-inflicted cost-of-living crisis and puts at risk the vitally important trade of goods between Scotland and Northern Ireland. And I know that the Tories are having difficulty this week with the concept of a political leader delivering on a promise made during an election campaign. But let me remind them what their own party leader said to the Democratic Unionist Party in Northern Ireland in 2018. We would be damaging the fabric of the Union with regulatory checks and even customs controls between Great Britain and Northern Ireland on top of those extra regulatory checks down the Irish Sea that are already envisaged in the withdrawal agreement. Now, I have to tell you that no British Conservative government could or should ever sign up to such an arrangement. Less than a year later, Mr Johnson put a border in the Irish Sea. Now, I have no problem with damaging the fabric of the Union, particularly in relation to Scotland, but I have a huge problem with a London-centric Tory government that thinks it can play fast and loose with the politics of Northern Ireland and the economic impact their decisions are having on Scotland. Boris Johnson doesn't care about Northern Ireland. He didn't go there and make that empty promise because it was something he believed in. He did it because it was expedient for him, his party, his government, and at that moment in time. In October 2019, the Prime Minister assured the House of Commons that his protocol is a great success for Northern Ireland and the whole country and fully compatible with the Good Friday Agreement. Now the UK Government is saying that this legislation to unilaterally override the protocol is necessary to preserve peace and stability in Northern Ireland. The man has more faces than a dice. Now, I don't raise that because Northern Ireland Protocol was the best solution for Northern Ireland. Like the majority of the people in Northern Ireland and Scotland who voted to remain in the EU, I think that recognising and enabling the democratic wish would have been the best solution for Scotland and Northern Ireland. But as I said previously, the Tories have a problem with recognising democratic mandates, and I return to Maros Sefcovic. The protocol was the solution agreed with the UK Government to protect the Good Friday Agreement in all its dimensions, avoid a hard border on the island of Ireland and protect the integrity of the EU single market. We know there are some practical difficulties implementing it. That is why my team and I have been engaging extensively with all stakeholders on the ground, resulting in a set of solutions put forward in October, showing a genuine and unprecedented flexibility. A genuine and unprecedented flexibility, Presiding Officer. It makes you wonder if Boris Johnson's vote fast is more about him realising that if the Northern Ireland Protocol works in Northern Ireland,
Mr Fairlie.
It applies in Scotland too. Perhaps he's got more to lose than he realised. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr Fairlie.